Imagine holding the deed to a vast estate and a legacy that will shape nations, and pushing it away for a single bowl of soup. It sounds like an absurd financial blunder, but this specific transaction is one of the most consequential moments in ancient literature. The history begins in the book of Genesis with Isaac and Rebekah. They endured an agonizing 20-year wait to have children, establishing waiting as the central tension of their family story before the next generation was even born. This ancient account documents the exact moment when that tension breaks, providing a case study in how temporary comfort can overwrite permanent legacy. To understand the stakes, you have to understand primogeniture. In this era, the birthright meant unchallenged wealth, family leadership, and the divine covenant promise made to Abraham. All of those assets funnel into a single node, the firstborn son. Rebekah's twin sons represented two opposite ways of moving through the world. Jacob was a quiet, calculating man who lived in tents. Esau was a brash, impulsive hunter who lived for the field. The conflict came to a head when Esau returned from a hunt, famished. Seeing Jacob cooking, he demanded a bowl of the red stuff. Jacob offered it, but only if Esau sold him his priceless birthright on the spot. The trade was instantaneous, but it raises a question about human nature. Was this catastrophic deal a result of physical starvation, or did it expose a deeper disease in Esau's character? We find the answer in the specific language the narrator uses to describe Esau's psychological state. Genesis 25 says Esau despised his birthright. In Hebrew, this implies active, ongoing contempt for his spiritual bond. While Jacob was conniving, he didn't trick an innocent man. Esau's pre-existing attitude devalued his inheritance long before the soup was served. Ancient writers identified this specific impulsiveness as the defining trait of Edom, the nation Esau eventually spawned, which became a long-standing rival of Israel. Esau's fatal vulnerability wasn't his empty stomach. It was his absolute intolerance for the discomfort of waiting for God to provide on God's timeline. This tension between immediate needs and long-term vision is what the Apostle Paul describes in Romans 8 as the conflict between the flesh and the spirit. We all carry birthrights, generational legacies, cultural roots, and values that connect us to a larger purpose. Today, that same hunger becomes an obsessive drive to acquire wealth to fill an emotional void, or an intense need to control our surroundings at any cost. Whenever we prioritize immediate, short-term comfort as our ultimate goal, we transform a natural human desire into a form of idolatry. We mirror Esau's mindset every time we convince ourselves that our lives are over if we don't get exactly what we want right now. The biblical account ends with a pathetic lack of ceremony. Esau eats, drinks, and simply walks away. He consumed his entire prize in a few minutes. On a timeline, that meal is a microscopic red dot. It is dwarfed by the infinitely expanding line of the generational legacy he traded away to get it. We engage in this same commodity trading with our integrity and faith when we sell out our deepest values for a quick fix, treating our character like a cheap item at a yard sale. The trade created a permanent spiritual deficit that no amount of stew could ever refill. The antidote to this impulsiveness is the active, difficult spiritual discipline of waiting. Enduring the discomfort of an unmet need is only possible when we fundamentally trust the character of the one who made the long-term promise. Eventually, every person will stand famished in front of someone offering an easy, instant solution. In those moments of deepest hunger, you have to recognize your true birthright and choose the painful discipline of waiting over the tragedy of the quick fix.